Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm going to show you some of the cards that I pulled out for today, so you can get a little look and preview. All right, now I'm going to set this up. Let's see. Here we go. So I want to say also, for some reason this mic doesn't seem to pick up audio and record it at a level that would be like average level for other people to hear well. So I'm sorry if the volume is low. You'll just have to turn it up, and then I'm trying to troubleshoot it, but it's really nice and simple to just record something and not have to go in to edit it just for the volume. So I'm just recording it as is. So so the first cards that came out were the Here and the Now and this Upside Down Breathe, which is a reminder that to be present, you have to go back to the foundations of things and tools that help with that, which is oftentimes your breath and connecting more with your body. Sometimes doing regular chores or daily activities and just letting that be what is the main focus of your day, is like your daily routines and activities that get you up, and or even if you want to stay in bed, that's okay too, but just basically things that are more mundane can help you come back to your presence and center when there's so much maybe you feel that's on the other side of this season we're in, or maybe something that you've been calling for and you're thinking about a lot. Overthinking is not going to help bring that into fruition. It's sometimes best to come back to some of the very human basic activities that will help you to detach and let and trust that your spirit team and then the universal forces, the laws of the universe, are working for you in your favor. So continuing whatever tools you have to maintain optimism or to go into the depths and work through some shadow work. But coming back to your breath is going to be a really good first step to slow down your thinking and your excitement that may come out, like anxiety. Like last night I was feeling this a lot, and I just had to keep coming back to my breath because I was just feeling so much impatience and a bit of agitation, a bit of frustration and anger about the process and being patient. And actually, I saw a reading earlier today that resonated for myself, so maybe it'll resonate for you, but that the marathon is happening and we're at the last stretch. So that's at least for my journey, and that might be similar message for what's coming through today for you. But coming back to the present moment can be really helpful for a lot of things, including when there's moving pieces that you don't have full control over. And it's the best way to help you with your mental health. And something that I'm also practicing, so I'm saying all of this because I'm also having to put this into practice, is that when you are more centered in the present moment, you're better able to be present with the people that you care about, show up in your true self, and that's like the greatest gift you can be giving to yourself and to others, and to be available and present with people in your life that deserve that kind of care as well as you. It's important to come back to your presence and reground and reroot yourself anytime that you're starting to get distracted, because your energy will continue to be scattered until you do so. And with a scattered energy, you're not as clear, you're not as focused, and you're not as excited and energized for the things that you may be working on right now, or for an upcoming project or something that you've been developing. To come back to having excitement and energy for that creation, you have to really be grounded and centered with yourself. So coming back to your breath and the here and now will reveal a lot of treasure for you. And this egg is showing that within the here and now, there's like a door and a portal to some spectacular changes. Every moment is a new, every breath is a new moment to a whole new world that you can create from this moment forward. So really embodying a new energy is a lot like that. It's being open to a completely new vibration and embodying that so that you can experience that externally around you. What is the identity that you are calling in, or that you that is like aligned with the vision you have for the upcoming year? And that identity has a certain energy to it, has a certain feeling. So what does that feel like? And being grounded and centered in your root is the first step to be able to even tap into that every day, because it is a little outside of like, it's like breaking through like if you're in a cycle that feels kind of numbing, or like you're just kind of tuned out of life, it takes some effort and energy to really break out and stay consistently present and in your being with life, because there are challenges and sometimes we just want to tune out. It's easier that way, but it doesn't necessarily create the change that you're looking for. So the change in the wind is the next card that came out. And yeah, I saw a zebra today this morning too on a video I was watching about someone at a safari. And the fun fact is that their stripes are completely unique. They're like a fingerprint. And it's funny because I was looking at it and I was like, how, I would like to like, they look so similar though. It's really hard to tell that they're completely unique. But this zebra is carrying something that is like a magical tower, that it's like you're like that little person in there, and this is the zebra that's carrying you through the change. You have a place, you have, it does seem kind of open and bare, and you know, this little figure is kind of hunched and cold looking a little bit, but you do have this beautiful animal and, you know, support system that's carrying you. You don't have to do anything but just hang on there. And in that process of moving across the plane of this landscape that is quite unclear, it's like you can't really, there's no clear distinction of where you are. You're kind of in the clouds, you're kind of on earth, you're kind of in between. Just remember that you are moving in a direction, and maybe you're not physically doing things in a logical way that is moving you in that direction, but just the forces of nature itself is moving you in that forward movement to a new world, a new life, and the changes that you maybe have been calling in or bringing awareness to, of what you want to experience and how you've been wanting to change internally, like how you want to change your reality. Sometimes we just have to let the universe carry us forward, and through that, you know, through that time of when things get mixed up and then resorted to like create that change. Like change happens when you break things up, and when things become disorganized and feel like discombobulated. It's actually a necessary part before you can come back to the peace and the clarity. There has to be some sort of sense of like confusion, and during that period of time of confusion, it's actually best not to do too much and not to try to make a plan going forward, because the only place that you're existing, that you have space to exist or like to do things, is within this tower. Like you're not on the ground in your 2 feet right now. You're being carried forward. So any efforts to try to like change things through a more masculine approach, out of fear or like restlessness, it's not going to really do anything for the bigger picture. You're already moving in the direction and you don't have to necessarily do anything. So then we have this card. It's the message in the bottle, which I feel like is this oracle reading for you. I'm seeing if there's anything else. The message in the bottle, remember to come back to your heart space and the messages that come from there. Like, have you ever asked a question or been asked a question and you just listen and notice what comes up from the heart? Like, what does your heart say? It feels like, for me, it feels like literally a voice box coming from the heart. Like recently a friend asked me, or I asked them and then they asked me back, where would you go right now in this moment? What's like a destination? And my heart said Costa Rica, and that felt out of the blue because I haven't really thought of it, but that's something that my heart said. So the messages might be coming through your heart rather than your mind. Balancing the heart and the mind takes some practice, but the heart is really a great place to tune back into, to remember what's the best path forward. And maybe that is taking some time to just take care of yourself while you're in this, while the zebra's carrying you forward and you're just kind of hanging out in this tower space. And while there's like this like wind and chaos around you, let that be an opportunity to just take care of yourself. And there's a message in your heart. And whatever that is, it's probably coming up right now in your head. And you're like, probably some image or some thought or some energy of a person or a thing or a project or whatever it is came up when I said that. And that is what it is. So then the next card is this one. It's very reflective of the change in the wind because they came out. Let me show you the picture. Yeah, it came out like this, which is very fitting because this is literally a zebra that has, no, it's a zebra with giraffe patterns on the outside that are starting to fall away to show the zebra print underneath. So it's like shedding a layer. It's very trippy. It's like shedding a layer to come back to your authentic self. Oh, this was upside down. To come back to your authentic self. And we're constantly going through transformations of coming back to our authentic self because there's more of parts of ourselves that maybe gets to be explored, that becomes more apparent at different times of our life. So there's always something new to discover, something new to love about ourselves. There's something new to learn, and it's just like a continuous part of life. So this is really cool to see these two reflected around the message. And then this message about the heart being in the center with the two zebras outside. And earlier, before I started this, I read the card meaning for this to help me, because sometimes I do want to know what it is in the book, and it kind of helps me just make sure that there's no other message to say. But it basically is saying this is an opportunity to use this chaos happening around you to your advantage, because when that happens, it's because there's an opportunity for something new to come into form. And that's the change in the wind. Change in the wind, chaos and conflict, they go hand in hand. So then there's also this card, which is the chopping wood, when you look at it like this, but it's upside down. which is interesting. So this one and then this new life came in upside down. And so I'm going to just pause for a second to see what that means. Are you resisting this? Are you resisting doing the mundane items, the mundane tasks of the day? And when I look at this, I saw this staff with the, ribbon. It looks like a wand. So what if your daily activities can actually be utilized like a magician's wand, and you can see it as like a necessary part of you bringing your magic into this earthly realm. Like the magician, casts a spell, and then it brings something to life that didn't exist before. So that could be like shifting your perception or perspective of this maybe very dry, mundane, uneventful, very like holding place you might be feeling like you're in. Can you play with that and find something fun to do within those mundane tasks, and make it more magical and bring some more sparkle to it? And like someone who is sweeping and then all of a sudden they start using their broomstick as a mic, or just like ways to bring more fun and play into these tasks, and see them as a service to the future that is being built for you and that you are creating. Like viewing it that way rather than as a boring chore can be helpful to help you as this new life is coming into fruition, because it's upside down, meaning like the energy isn't quite there yet to be poised to receive, but there's a few last things that need to happen in the energetic realm and the parties involved for this to go right side up and for you to fully be aligned to manifest that thing into the physical. And sometimes it takes layers and cycles for this to go on like this, and then it will be aligned for you. So just trust that it will happen. It's inevitable, especially if you believe it truly in your heart. And then the last two cards that I pulled was this Yang card and then the Leg Up card. Other people will be doing things for you in the more action-oriented way. Like, what if all you have to do is like one little action that you might be seeing or feeling nudged to do from your intuition? And that alone is going to bring you so much more assistance than you could even imagine. Like just one little thing, the thing that you might have been putting off. What is that one little thing, and how much will come forward once that little task is complete? And although it might be a little task, I understand sometimes it feels like a big task, like emotionally, because there's a lot of unknowns behind it. Maybe there's a lot of like, why, what's after that, what are the details? I feel like I have to know the details around this task so that I can feel confident in it. Let go of all of that and just trust the message of whatever one little task you're being asked to do, so that you can receive this assistance. All right, let's see if there's anything else. I was like, where's all the cards? They're right here. So at the bottom, we've got blessed, which is cute. Okay, any last words of wisdom for this? Oh, that's so interesting. I saw the milk and honey. I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, milk and honey. But I was like, okay, But then it came out along with this card at the bottom, which is the Orphan. I feel like these are like, could be considered like not like opposite sides of the spectrum. I don't know if you can see that. There, the elephant playing in the sad little, this image always kind of weirds me out, to be honest. She's like a bird woman. I don't know, it's hard to see. But the Milk and Honey came out with the Orphan. It's basically like we can either live this way or we can live this way. And it's fine to be here, but you can get here as well when you come back to your breath and recenter with yourself and let that lead yourself forward. And let that be how you exist in this midst of this changing environment, in the midst of this unknown, as you travel into the new world that you've created for yourself, just by writing it down, just by, speaking it out loud, you're creating. And so that, and even just what's on your heart that you're bringing awareness to, that's creating this new world. So in that in between, you have the opportunity to experience both of these, and you likely will go back and forth. And just remember to come back to your center so you can have a bit of a balance between the two. Because with every day that you might feel this, you might later feel an integration of that excitement through this Orphan feeling. And that's just like a natural way that the universe works with. Last time I wanted to say this word too, and I just don't know what it is. It's like the with every negative there's a positive. Like opposites, basically. If you, the like pendulum swing, if you experience this, to create balance you have to experience the opposite. And so that's why I always am aware that if I have like a really beautiful moment or day or a really expansive thing, to prepare myself that I will also integrate it through a bit more of that like deeper, darker, more getting back into your ego, fear, self, and that's okay and that's natural, but it's a way for you to integrate that new expansion of light that you're experiencing in the Milk and Honey. Just be your beautiful self. Like, what if you could experience this while hanging out up here? This elephant's not doing anything except for enjoying itself in this beautiful bathtub of yumminess. And through that experience that it's creating and playfulness, it's manifesting this beautiful rainbow of delight. And what if that's what you could be experiencing while hanging out in this tower? These are just options for the journey. The journey's happening no matter what. You're moving forward no matter what, but it's your choice for how you want to experience it. And I know it does take effort and self-love and making that choice the best you can for what you feel energy to do. But yeah, the biggest message is always the first message, which is to come back to your center and your here and now. And that's going to be, if you just focus on that alone, centering with your heart and your breath, that's going to help you today and every day moving forward. And this place you're in might change later in the day. It might change tomorrow or the next week, but this back and forth experience is pretty natural and normal. Especially as you're creating something really beautiful and magnificent. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again in the future.